All right. Hey, we are live, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the new AI tools and how to incorporate those into your sales process. We'll be having some people popping on live in a few. So I'm grateful you're here with us today. Thank you for investing some time. This is something that I've been focusing on for the past. Well, we started using oh gosh, I can't remember the tool we were using before Chat GPT. We used Jasper. We were using Jasper to help us write and do blog posts and stuff like that. But now, I mean, in the last 6 months, it's really become next level with automation and using different GPTs and Chat GPTs. So really excited. And actually, it looks like I need to having trouble with Instagram. It's expected. If not, let me see. I might have to do something live to stream on Instagram. So bear with me a second. Maybe it's not going to let me. You know what? I'm going to skip Instagram today because it's not cooperating. So we're just going to keep moving forward. But we are on right now Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube. And we are on X. Also, we are live on Clubhouse. So we got a lot of different platforms that we're streaming onto. And so I want to share with you the framework, and then I'm going to share on how we can incorporate AI into each part of the sales framework, the 5 different parts of the sales process. And super, super exciting stuff, because I'll tell you, if you studied or paid attention, which I know a lot of you do, but you'll know that most of your sales, 80%, as a matter of fact, is the number, come as a result of follow-up. 80%. Think about how high that number is, right? But then the studies, the research has been done. It shows that only literally like 4, I think he said it was like 40%. It's more than 40% of salespeople ever actually reach out to a client more than once. And there's another number out there that you guys are going to love. The average conversion takes 5 to 12 attempts. So think about that. 80% of your sales come from follow-up. It takes 5 to 12 attempts, and yet 40% of salespeople call more than once. That means 60% call once, or some don't even call, which is crazy. I don't even understand that. But then you're talking about 40% call once, and the amount that calls more than that is like literally like 10%. So what does that tell me? What does it tell you, my friends here? Oh, it's on Clubhouse, and it looks like we got some people here as well. And if you want to get into the conversation, ask a question, just raise your hand, and I can actually share with you a link where you can join us live in the conversation, because I'd love to hear some questions as well. But what does that tell us? It tells us that there's a lot of opportunity out there, my friends. A lot of opportunity. Isn't that a good thing? Come on, right? Like, that is a great thing when there's that much opportunity in your sales process. Now, the reason, I can tell you this, not just because I wrote a book on it and studied multiple industries, not just because of that, but I can tell you because I work with business owners, I work with salespeople, I work with people all over the country, salespeople, real estate agents, and I see it, and we help them with it. And by that, the other side of that is I am actually a customer, so I pay attention to people that are trying to sell me stuff. And there's this new trend of, people will reach out to you and try to completely convert you via text. Just not as effective as you could be. Not even close. So I want to share with you. By the way, let me, before I do that, I want to drop a link here for you guys. Let me see what just happened. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to drop this in the, we're live streaming right now on YouTube, Facebook, the other sites. If you want if you want to join me, I just dropped the link where you can actually click on that link and you can join me right here live. You can join me live on the actual podcast, on the live stream. You can ask me live questions. You know what? I'm going to drop it too for my friends on Clubhouse. I'm going to drop the link in here for you guys. And you know what? I would love to have you join us. And so let me copy this and then drop it and just hang in there as I'm doing this. And I was supposed to have a guest today, but he had some stuff come up last minute. And I said, you know what? I don't want to cancel. So instead of canceling, I figured, you know what? I'll come out, do it myself, and I'll get some people involved, but I still, want to share the sales process with you guys, and then how I am able to incorporate each of those steps, how I'm able to incorporate AI into the steps. But I think I don't want to say more important, but what I'm doing is I'm making the steps more effective. Does that make sense? Like, we can make these steps more effective. So if you want to see the steps, just jump on to one of my live stream right now, the feed, and you'll see the 5-step fundamental sales cycle. And so step 1 simply is connecting with people. And so I want to, in the chat, love to hear some thoughts on, like, what would you say is the most important rule when it comes to connecting with other people? So let's see in the chat. You guys can drop it in the chat here. Looks like we got about 15 people here on the site. So drop, like, what would you say? There's no wrong answer, by the way. What would you say is the most important attribute when it comes to connecting with people? Now, this could be people you don't know yet. This could be people that you just met, people you're trying to connect with. Maybe you're just meeting somebody in line, right? At like a Starbucks. Speaking of, by the way, one of my best clients in the past was somebody I just literally started up a conversation with in line at a Starbucks. But I'm just curious, what are your thoughts? Let's get some of your answers. Drop it in the chat. I want to hear what you got to say. What do you think is the most important attribute when it comes to connecting? Let's see. And listen, there's no wrong answers. All right. So you know what? I see build rapport. Yep. Build rapport is important. I see connect. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Connecting is very important as well. I see building trust. Yep. Building trust is very important. The challenge with that is you usually can't do that immediately, but yes, over time, that makes sense. So let me drop this out. I want you to add this to your notes right now. Number 1 step, and I got this from Grant Cardone. So I want to give them credit. I learned this from them, is put people at ease. Number 1 goal, attribute, whatever you want to call it. You should focus. Put someone at ease, my friends. That should be your goal. You meet somebody new, or maybe, again, it doesn't have to be somebody new, but your first connect on the step 1 is connecting. First step in the sales process to connect with prospects through email, phone, SMS, in person. The goal is to make them feel comfortable with you and put them at ease while building trust to move forward. So this is the beginning stage of building trust, connecting with somebody. Next step number 2 is qualify. Okay, qualify. Step number 2. That's not 1, that's 2, right? Sometimes what do people do is they try to do step 2 before doing step 1. So you decide, hey, I'm going to try to qualify somebody that I don't know or that doesn't necessarily want to talk to me right now. They're not at ease with you. There's no connection. They don't want to talk to you, and you're asking them these questions. And that's when you get things like, why are you asking me these questions? None of your business. Things like that means they're not at ease with you yet, right? You have not connected with them. You've not earned the right to qualify them. So step 2 comes after step 1, because now there's a little bit of at ease. Maybe there's a little bit of trust. Maybe they're at least curious. Maybe you are like The Rock, right? Compelling. Like they're just like, wow, this person is super cool, right? Or maybe you're like Dave Hill and you're just like, man, this guy, I don't even know what he's doing, but I got to listen to him, right? Similar to The Rock, right? If you can smell, right? Like What does that even mean? But when you hear it, you know what it means, right? Because it's compelling. So people want to pay attention to you because you're compelling. Step 2, qualified. Now they're going to be open as long as they don't think you're crazy, but they'll be open. Okay. So now this is back to the sales. The second step is qualifying. So you're going to understand people's goals, their motivations, and you're going to help them determine if what you have is the right thing for you. Okay. So the goal here is to get immediate engagement from them. Like they're engaged in the process. This should be back and forth, like two-way, not an interrogation. There's a difference between an interrogation and a pre-qualification. You understand? Detectives interrogate people. We don't do that. We connect and we ask great questions and figure out, we dig deep, we figure out what motivations are and how we can actually help people solve a problem. Then step number 3 is presenting. This is the third step now, present. So we're only going to present after we've connected with them. So they're at ease with us. We know what they're looking for. And now we can actually present where we can deliver a compelling, back to that word, compelling presentation or demo that addresses all their questions and offers solutions based on insights gathered during the pre-qualification process. What does that mean? It means that I know what their goals are. I know what their motivation is. I understand what they're looking to achieve. So here's a challenge right now for somebody. There's a person that I'm talking to, and he sells solar. Good guy. He's been trying to get me to buy solar. Now, here's the issue, the challenge he's having, and he doesn't realize it. And good guy, young, probably could use some sales training. I kind of am interested in solar, but in my mind, I don't need solar. And I don't want solar. Right? Like it's like I don't care, right? So there's a big hurdle right there in front of this person. And he has not been able to connect with me at that level or qualify me enough so that I believe I actually need solar. Because first off, you got to understand the difference between needs and wants, right? Needs is like, I got to sign up. Like if you said electricity, National Grid is our service provider. I need National Grid because without them, I have no power. I hope that makes sense to you. I don't need solar. I mean, it's a maybe a want. The challenge is I don't necessarily even want it because what I have learned about it so far doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't, to save $130 a month and take on literally a debt of like $80,000 makes no sense to me, especially when I'm planning to sell my house in probably 3 to 5 years. It makes no sense. And so maybe there is a way to make it make sense, but right now, the way that he's doing it, I don't see it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. All I see is I'm going to be in debt another $90,000. I don't want that, right? Like, so to me, that's a huge obstacle. So there's a big challenge. I'm sharing this with you because you got to understand, like going back, like we're talking about presenting now. Basically what happened was there was a little bit of, hey, nice to see you, blah, 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 bang, right into presenting. This is what solar does. This is the benefit. This is how much money you'll save. You sent me your utility bill. No pre-qualifying. No asking me about my goals. No asking me, this is a breakdown. We see this a lot. Now, AI. You can add AI into all of these steps, my friends. And we're doing it right now. Like we literally have AI. I have AI that will create a video. I can select an avatar, and this is kind of a scary thing going on right now. And this is why you see like the fake news and the celebrity stuff. You can you can get an avatar of somebody. I can do it for myself. I can do it for someone else. You would not even know. Like you listening to me right now, this might actually be an AI avatar, right? This may be an AI talking to you, but it's not. This is really me. But I can clone myself now. I can clone someone else. I can have somebody else deliver a specific message based on exactly what their goals are. Okay, exactly what their goals are. And this is the presentation part. I can have AI craft up a specific presentation that's tailored exactly to this person. Not only that, but I can connect it to Canva. There's a tool called Captions where I can create a it's called an AI agent that can communicate. Like literally, I am almost in a place where I don't even have to really be involved in the sales process, except coming in at the end to close. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times we're gonna be able to leverage that soon too, because the AI is getting so good. Okay, but connecting, that's marketing, really, right? A lot of it is marketing until you actually get on the phone with somebody or meet somebody in person. So we can do a lot of that using AI. Then the qualifying, same thing. You can create sequences and questions and have automations and just get information from people. But again, go back to step number one. They have to trust you or have some trust in you. They have to be at ease with you. And then they're going to be willing to answer more of your questions, which brings you to the third step, which is present. Now, the close, this is my favorite step. This is where most salespeople get stuck. They get hung up. Hey, it looks like we got a Monty. I don't know if Monty's still here with us or not, but we got somebody in our waiting room. So Monty, I'm happy to bring you up if you're interested. But next step is close. So now the fourth step is the closing. Let me share my screen again with you guys, and so you can see what I'm looking at. The fourth step is now the closing. So this is where we confidently ask the right questions at the right time. And it also involves overcoming objections. This is why people don't like the closing so much, because this is where you get the objections. Well, I got to think about it. So now, how does AI help you in this area? Well, I'll tell you what. I've got AI that's interviewed me for a podcast. I built a GPT that knows everything about my sales process. It has my books. Every course I've taught is loaded into it, so it can role play with me, give me scenarios, practice with me, so it helps me become better at the closing process. It can also determine somebody's behavior. So like if I know somebody is like a high D on a disc versus a high S, I can tailor my closing specific to that person. And then the fifth step simply is follow-up, which we talked about in the beginning, 5 to 12. We got to figure out how to follow up with people 5 to 12 times. And here's the wild thing about it. Every time needs to be different. Not, hey, it's David. Just following up. No, you might be able to get away with that once, but then after that, man, it is weak, and people run. They don't want anything to do with just following. Hey, it's me, just following up. Yep, it's David again, and I'm just following up. Oh yeah, hey, it's David here, just following up. Right? Have you ever heard of salespeople do that? A salesperson do that? Yeah, you see it all the time. So we got to get really, really good at our follow-up process, and it's consistency. It's 5 to 12 times. It's about being compelling. It's about providing value. It's about having a different reason each time. It's about multiple ways to follow up. It's not just phone calls. It's not just text messages. Okay, it is a combination of emails, text messages, video text messages, video chats, audio messages, hard copy, like sending things in the actual mail. Okay, like this is what we're talking about when it comes to follow-up. And you also need to understand over time, because if somebody is sales cycle is 6 months, then you're going to treat somebody that has a 6-month sales cycle completely different. You got that? Completely different than you would treat somebody that has a 2-week sales cycle, or somebody that might have a 2-year sales cycle, which we've seen in the past when I used to be in advertising. I'd call agencies and they'd be like, well, you know what, David, we're going to get you on next year's Q3 budget. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like the most impatient guy in the world. But that's the process. So what do I need to do is I need to plan a long-term follow-up strategy. So we use AI in every one of these areas. Now, let me see if Monty's with us. If I don't know if anybody, by the way, if anybody has any questions, you can drop your questions in the chat. Happy to, or you can use that link that I provided, and you're welcome to jump right in with us. Monty, you here with us or no? I see. I don't see anybody there. So until I see an image or photo of somebody, I will not add anybody to the stream. You guys like, by the way, Buffalo, go Bills, baby, go Bills. I'm an old school Bills fan from when I was a kid. Just got this nice new dandy hat. It's pretty slick, right? I'm telling you, this is the year. I feel like this is the year for the Bills. I'm excited. Hey, there's Monty. So yeah, Monty, we'll bring you in. How's it going, man?
It's going well. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. And just realized that I may not even be connected to the right speakers since I hear you coming through my actual let me see something here. Well, the mic's working. The default MacBook speaker. So, okay, got it. So that means you can hear me. The people on
Yeah.
Club. There it is. All right, cool. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going well. I'm a Dolphins fan, so
Oh, goodness, yeah.
yeah, I know.
That's probably not a great. Unfortunate. Sorry about that, my man. I'll prayers for you and the team. And
Yeah. Y'all are good fans. Y'all are good fans. So,
yeah,
yeah, love your
talk to me,
content.
man. What's going on, bro?
This was in the clubhouse side and jumped in over here on the video side. I'm always about the visuals too because I learn better with visuals than just audio. So the graphic that you showed was definitely helpful to process information and just to kind of look at it. I'm not really into sales. I don't really have a product offering. I'm more of content creation, but ultimately it does generate a sale. So there are some things that do correlate across the board, and how you mentioned some of the software that's out there that is cloning and different automation tactics and techniques, if you will, that do resonate, just in general. So but yeah, so just wanted to jump on the video side because I am able to see over here versus just hearing. So definitely appreciate you sharing value.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you. And I'm going to bring us back to the image now, just so I can, because I liked what you said about marketing. And the way I kind of look at it, a lot of this can happen. Step one here, the connect part, through marketing, right? Even before that you get on a call. And sometimes what will happen is you may connect with somebody enough through the marketing initially that you can just jump on and within a couple minutes you're into step two, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I create content on YouTube, and so that's what YouTube does for me. Is that step one? It gets them to step two so much quicker because they're able to
Yeah, I
see
think
me, hear me, and
oh, there it is. Yeah.
it breaks down those barriers pretty quick. That no like trust factor. It definitely works really well for me with YouTube because some of them steps happen faster than some people that may have to do those individually. I like things that kind of work together or work more seamlessly or require quote unquote less effort. Still the effort's there, but it just may work better. I'm a big proponent of workflows. So the faster I can get through that flow, that customer journey,
Mm.
the completion of something from A to Z, I'm all about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's I'm like a workflow automation guy. Anyway, that's like I'm kind of like a mad scientist when it comes to that. And AI just really helps us with that. It can help us make it more effective. And in a lot of ways, AI is kind of like a super high level workflow, right?
Yeah.
Or automation. So talk to us about YouTube and and hey, congratulations, you're gonna be part of this podcast episode because this will be going out live as we're going to stream this out on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else people listen to podcasts. So it's nice to have you here with us, Monty. Why YouTube? Why is YouTube? Do you think YouTube's a better platform to do that on than like an Instagram or Facebook? Why YouTube?
For me personally, YouTube has been the I've gained the most traction on YouTube. Being on every other platform, to some degree, some more so than others. I once I dialed in what my audience needs and how they're able to consume the information that I share, I found that YouTube was the right platform. And one of those catalysts for also making me choose a platform was the fact that I'm watching every other person that does similar things use that platform. And so when I took that leap to venture into it, it definitely was the fastest growth platform. It created the most opportunities, led to the most conversions, it led to the most followers, subscribers. So uh and I think the viewers and the reach ultimately allows me to connect with people I would have never connected before organically, and letting the platform do what the platform does. I just have to show up and create content, and it's been since 2020, January 2020 to now 2024, but by far and away the best platform that I've
How
been
many
in.
subscribers do you have, Monty?
A little over 33,000 right
Wow.
now.
Okay, good for you. Well, that's legit, man. I was hoping you didn't say like 3,000 because I mean I got 3,500 and I don't even do anything with it. But I need I need to get better, man. I'll tell you. So 33,000 solid. What in is it like what would you say? Let me try to think like what question I would ask somebody. Like well, let's say somebody's like I want like that's my challenge with YouTube, right? Like I'm not really seeing the growth as fast as I want it to. So I just kind of focus on the things I keep doing. How does somebody grow on YouTube? What's one tip you can give our listeners before we wrap up today? We're gonna make you the expert today on YouTube.
Uh, I would say don't overthink it. And what I mean by that is YouTube kind of gives you the playbook to what people are looking for. And what I found is that people that want to dip their toe in YouTube, that they don't have any success in it because they're not really trying to understand what YouTube is. Now, it's not a complex platform by any means. It's a platform where you have to do what's best for the viewer. And YouTube literally has a search bar. And when you start typing into the search bar on YouTube around videos that you're thinking that you want to create, I encourage people to really pay attention to what is showing up in the search bar. So if we're talking about sales and AI, then I'm thinking, person that's trying to generate more sales using AI, what are they typing into the search bar?
Mm,
And as soon as YouTube auto populates, those are the videos that we need to create. Okay, how do I use this tool, whatever, to create more sales, or how do I generate more sales with AI? That is the video. And now it's just a matter of delivering on the video to match the title of what the video is about, and doing it over and over and over again. And I had a business coach that told me, he said, get comfortable doing the same thing
yeah.
repetitively. And like for me, I've always feel like I have to create something new, something different, because people are already heard it. But on YouTube, there are so many people that have never heard your information, your content before, and so many people that never will. And so that's my cheat sheet, if you will, is pay attention to the search bar and create videos around that for the viewer, and not videos that we as creators necessarily want to create because they're cool and they're fancy titled and all that stuff. Because I want to be found, right? I want people to find me on YouTube. And so I
Mm,
just play the games that YouTube kind of has outlined for us, and using what they give us is that search bar, which is my number one.
love it. Well, I'll tell you my biggest takeaway for everybody, and we appreciate you, Monty, jumping in today. If you can smell, that's my new favorite rock ism. Monty, what you said is, and this is for everybody. I don't care what you're doing, what you're selling, what you're working on, but the most important thing, one of the most important, is it over and over and over and over and over, right? And over and over, and that's how we lead to success over time. Monty, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep showing up, being consistent, man. Appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you, man. Make sure
Thanks for
you
having me. Thanks for letting me come up.
send me your information on the back channel, and I'll make sure we get it out to you and tag you. And yeah, appreciate you doing this with us. So thank you,
Cool.
man.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, everybody, listen, I'm going to show you this slide one last time. We just had a little guest, Monty. I'm going to keep doing more of that. We're going to have guests pop in. Monty is obviously knows his stuff about YouTube. So we're going to post his links down below. If you want to connect with Monty on YouTube, do that. But again, these are the 5 steps. Number 1, connect. Number 2, qualify. Number 3, present. Number 4, close. Number 5, follow up. My friends, 80% will come as a result of follow up. Man, I appreciate you being here today with us. And for follow up, I want to make sure you go to my link. All right. My link is davidhill.link. That's it. davidhill.link. You can also check me out on davidhill.ai, but I want you to go davidhill.link. All right. Everything I'm up to is there. So you can follow a podcast. You can get access to our 10X Health products. You can see what's coming up with my training. That's where we keep all the good stuff. So appreciate you investing time today. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe right down below. Get subscribed and give us a review on Path to Mastery. Thanks again for your time, and we'll see you next episode.